Hello everyone and welcome to another top 5 records video. And today I'm going to be comparing different pressings of Janis Joplin's Pearl. What I'm going to do is I have a first UK pressing, I have a first US pressing, and I have a mobile fidelity sound lab one step on 45 RPM. Now, I'm going to talk you through it. I have been listening to more pressings of this record, but I brought it down to these three because I thought these three are theoretically the most interesting, and basically they were the most interesting in my listening experience because um, I got this first UK from a friend of mine. I traded it over. I was very excited to have it because I had been listening to a recent, I'm not sure if it was a music on vinyl, but it was a recent reissue. Could be music on vinyl. I'm not so sure because I sent that one to my parents. I had a first Dutch pressing, which was okay, but didn't do it for me. And then when I listened to the first UK one, I completely loved the sound here. So I'll show you a bit of the first UK. It has the inner sleeve has an entire side dedicated to promoting Bob Dylan here. uh, yeah, that's interesting. Um, Beautiful British orange label made in England. Now, why did I like this pressing? It has a very beautiful dry sound here. The guitars sound beautiful. There's clarity and there's detail. Um, and I mean, the clarity and the detail on the acoustic guitar and the electric guitars here is just marvelous. I really enjoy the texture. It's one of those elements you can fall in love with. So great. You notice some distortion on the voice of Janis Joplin here. Now, there is distortion in the recording, and you can also say that the distortion may be part of the artistic process because Janis Joplin was a very big fan of Big Mama Thornton. And when you listen to stuff from Big Mama Thornton, like, well, coincidentally, I have one of my favorite blues albums. It is an original Big Mama Thornton in Monterey. This is one of the big heroes for Janis Joplin. Love that record. Distortion all around because it gives you that vibe that um, I'm not sure if it was calculated or not, or that I just thought, go ahead, make it distort. There's a little bit distortion. If you're fine with it, it's fine to us. And that distortion is also gives you the idea that the voice can be so overwhelming that it just goes out there beyond the technicalities. It's never it's minor, minor distortion when there's really a lot of volume. So it is noticeable on some of the parts on her voice here. um Piano and bass, very delicate. Don't sound anything as rough like her voice. Very delicate. Also, the band here, I'm not sure what the name of the band is again, but this is one of those famous American studio bands. Oh yeah, the Full Tilt Boogie. Incredible band, incredible sound here. I really love the high here on the drums. Beautiful, beautiful dry sound. Now, that for the first UK. I was pretty happy with the first UK. Now, about half a year ago, I was for work in New York, and in Manhattan at a record store, I found a first US. And I always try to hunt down the originals because that gives you a different reflection on what the master tapes may sound. Perhaps it was close enough to the master tapes, and um, usually, I mean, it can be better. In the country of origin, it can be better. Um, Beautiful thick cardboard here. The presentation is a lot better than the British one. So with great anticipation did I take this home in the plane. As a matter of fact, I took two home. I found them for $5. I just couldn't leave them behind. But now I'm like at home and I have two of the same American pressings, which is um, really, really, really unnecessary. But I think I'm going to trade one off one of these days. Um, Volume wise, this is about the same as the first UK one or 2 decibels higher on average and on the maximum, but it's not a difference you really feel when you're listening to it. The most noticeable difference between the first UK and the first US here is the voice. It seems to be a little bit softer and also less clear. I wouldn't say it's as if there's a blanket over the microphone. It's not that heavy. Um, but if you scale the proportion of that idea down, you kind of get it. It's a bit more diffused. It's not as clear. What you do get here is that you do hear a lot less distortion on her voice. It is almost as if they have made a choice there to do something in the mastering. Um, I don't think they did anything in mixing, but I'm not sure. I wasn't there at the process, but they did something so you won't hear as much distortion. Is that a big problem that this voice sounds less? I do not like the way the voice sounds here as much as on the first UK. You do get a beautiful piano and guitar here. Beautiful, gorgeous texture. Even I prefer the texture here a little bit more than on the other one. It's a little bit louder, it's a little bit warmer. Incredible sound on them. But comparing this to the first UK, on the voice alone, this will not become my go-to copy. So that about the first US. Now, the Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab One-Step. Beautiful box, very big box though. But this time, MoFi really did everything they could to make the box worthwhile. Because not only did they add pictures of Janis Joplin here, photographs, I like them. We even get a little booklet, which is pretty unique for MoFi. I'll show you. I'm not sure why they added the red in the painting, but to get a little bit more of an American feeling there. I do really enjoy this bonus. It adds something to the legacy of this gorgeous record because I think it's one of the best records from the 70s. I really enjoy it. Now, sound wise, this was pressed on 45 RPM. So there is room for more detail. And yes, that's also what we get. When you put this one on, you notice that the guitar and the voice, they sound a lot brighter. This record has a more sterile sound than the first US. Comparing the sterile sound versus warmness with the first UK, it might be slightly more sterile, but there are for me, no taste issues there on that level. You also get a lot more detail. And I love this detail here. It is a beautiful, tight, precise presentation. And it has great separation here. It really takes this record beyond what the first UK and the first US have to offer. Now, if an element of warmth is very important to you, go for the first US. Otherwise, I mean, this is really good. It has a so much more precise sound. Well, the UK one has a more precise sound than the US one. This one has a more precise sound than the both of them, but it doesn't have as much distortion on the vocals as the first UK has. Yet the voice sounds very good, very clear. This really is a moment where Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab outdoes the other pressings. I love it. This is a beautiful box, a treasure. So I'm curious, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.